Hello! In today's Archaeoscoop, my top 3 headlines are as follows. Headline number 1 could really only ever be one thing, and that is the sale of Sekhemka at Christie's a couple of days ago. Over the past few days, reaction to the auction has been building, and frankly, people just aren't happy. Eventually, actually, the statue far exceeded the estimate and sold for around £16 million. Of that, Lord Northampton will receive around £6 million, and after fees and other charges, the rest will go to Northampton Council. Now, obviously, we've been covering this story at Archaeoscoop, and people actually all over the world have been reacting to this, and essentially people are very concerned. This is a landmark case in so much as it really does legitimise the sale of goods and artefacts in museums as if they are commodities to be cashed in rather than cultural resources to be treasured. Treasured in the sense of looking after them, not treasured in the sense of being a pirate. And in this instance, actually, it seems that Northampton have been more pirate-like than steward-like, and I'm sure that this story will continue to develop. I've put several links below under headline number 1 for you guys to take a look at. Essentially, it's just surrounding the sale and also reaction to the sale and a little bit of background on Sekhemka. So that's headline number 1. Headline number 2, I had to pick this one because actually it's along the same lines, and that is to do with the purchase of a 4,500-year-old tool at a car boot sale for £3. Now, it's an ancient Egyptian tool. It was used to carve, for example, temples, this kind of thing. It was a mason's tool. Apparently, you'd use to feel the sweet spot where the mason preferred to rest his thumb thousands of years ago as he built monuments is quite incredible. Said Mr. Jackson, the person who purchased this thing. Not only was it 4,500 years old, but also it was valued at £4,000. So actually, it's already been given a monetary value. It's now a thing, a treasure, as opposed to something to be treasured, which again is a bit of a shame. That said, though, Mr. Jackson did say that he did seem to have some sense of the cultural importance and the historical aura of this object. The fact that actually it's more than just something to be sold. But nonetheless, it was bought and sold rather ignominiously. As he said, Mr. Jackson's medical assistant said, it was one of those days when all the men were nursing hangovers, gathered around the hardware stall. You get at any car boot sale, rummaging through the boxes of stuff you'd be ashamed to throw even in the bin. Like broken screwdrivers and busted hammers and this kind of thing. And that's when he came across this tool which he thought looked old and purchased it for £3. This isn't really this isn't really a big news story, but it's certainly something along the same lines. It's become a headline because essentially it's worth something, not because it is something. And once again, I feel a little bit as though that's the theme at the moment that we're living with this month for archaeology. So that's headline number 2. Take a look. You never know what you might find at a car boot sale, and hopefully Mr. Jackson will treasure this artefact and may even donate it to a museum. We'll see. Headline number 3. Actually, I thought I'd lighten the tone a little bit and focus on a dig. Archaeologists and volunteers in Gwynedd are actually looking for an Iron Age hill fort. This is actually part of the Festival of Archaeology. This Festival of Archaeology, indeed the Day of Archaeology on Friday, saw me giving some free workshops to the public at Segerdunum, the museum here in Wall's End, on Hadrian's Wall. But this particular team are doing an excavation, and they're excavating an ancient ditched enclosure at Hen Gastell in Llanwnda, near Carnarvon. Now, interestingly enough, actually, and this is something which I find quite pleasing, is that Hen Gastell means quite literally old castle. So presumably the name has led them there. And this is one of the things that I love about place names, is that something called Old Castle, Manchester, or Chester itself, for example, these places, they give you a hint at a place's history. Chester probably means Romans were there at some point. Hen Gastell probably means that there's some sort of castle type thing there. Or it may just be a local myth and legend. And at the moment, actually, they're not sure if they're going to find something medieval or something Iron Age. Site director Jane Kenny said there are definitely at least 5 post holes so far, which is really exciting because post holes means there was a building. So again, a great project. An open day on Saturday the 19th of July will offer a glimpse of what the dig has found so far. And as I said, this is part of the Festival of Archaeology, which runs from the until the 27th of July, including open days, special events, historic sites, all across Britain actually, but in this instance across Wales. So it's all good. Wonderful news story, public access to archaeology. They're doing a dig, and I just love the fact that, as I say, that the place name is so revealing. Old Castle, Hen Gastell, may well mean that there's something there to be found. And that's one of the tips actually that I always try and give to people when we do our archaeology workshops, and that is just think about place names. I think place names are a really good starting point. So there you go, those are my top 3 headlines for today. For those headlines and all the other stories from the past couple of days, all you need to do is check out the links below. As ever, they're there for your delectation and delight. In fact, actually, there are a couple of news stories along the same lines as the first 2. There's the sale of a so-called Viking Broadsword, for example, that's coming up. But also as well, there's some rather pleasing stories as well. I think it's a nice selection. I think an old bottle of Seltzer has been found in a shipwreck. So do check those out. Whatever you've been up to this weekend, hopefully you feel recharged for the week ahead. I know I do somewhat. And as ever, take care. I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.